8th grade. It was around the time where I had a lot of things going on in my life, most of them negative, and really music was more an excuse to get out of that toxic environment that I was in. I never really thought of it as something that would lead into a career. I started out as an electric bassist for a big band, and eventually, through curiosity, thanks to a little bit of backing from one of my teachers, I discovered the double bass. Sadly, my school didn't have a double bass teacher, so throughout my high school years, I was completely self-taught, which made it kind of hard to integrate myself into a conservatory lifestyle. It was like the first few years at the conservatory were very hard to get used to because I wasn't used to what practice routines were like. I wasn't taught how to practice, I wasn't taught about proper bow technique, so when I was introduced to a teacher, everything was like a completely different language to me. I had so many struggles just learning what now as a 4-year student here, I considered a basic. Things like holding the bow, where to put the bow, were all completely unknown to me. Eventually, through the help of my teacher, I managed to end up where I am now. But through my senior year, I was able to amass a bit of knowledge, and I graduated as the first student to have 4 instruments as their main instruments, which were electric bass, piano, double bass, and voice. I did singing for them. Really, one of the reasons why I really want to make it to this program is I want to prove that having a teacher isn't something you need. You know, that if you have the patience to sit and learn, you can get wherever you want to get. Of course, teachers are great help, and teachers will always do their best to guide you. But a lot of people seem to think that we need to start with teachers. I don't think that's true. Because if I was able to get as far as I made it without a teacher, and obviously having a teacher now is fantastic, and I would never have anything else than the wonderful teacher that I have now. But it's not a necessity. And I think it's an idea that's been pushed into our criteria a lot. Like when you go into music schools, all you talk about are teachers. Oh, who taught you this, or who taught you that? Or where did you learn this? Who was your teacher here? But when I've had a lot of people tell me how impressive it is to be self-taught. I don't think it is. I mean,
how would you like to give back to your community through this program?
I want to teach a different way.
Sorry?
I want to teach a different way. I don't want to teach under restrictions or under limits. I think music is such a broad experience, but I think that there's so many limitations put into learning it that restrict just who can learn it. Unless you're learning it at 4 years old or 5 years old to then make it into a music school, in most cases, you're not getting into a music school. I leaning back on points that I did before this, when I entered my high school, which was where I learned about the electric bass and double bass, it was a fine art school. So it wasn't entirely music. It was music, plastic arts, theater, dance, so and so. And I originally auditioned as a pianist, but I didn't have any proper teachings. Again, as a pianist, I was completely self-taught on piano as well. Most of my instruments actually are self-taught. The only reason I made it in there was because my professor asked me if, I told him that I knew a little bit about guitar. So he said, okay, we're looking for a bass, an electric bass. Can you play, do you think you can play bass? It's like, kind of like a guitar. And I said, sure, if it means I can make it in here, I'll give it a shot. And I gave it a shot, and it worked out. I don't think we have to keep pushing the agenda that you have to start at a young age, or that you have to start with a teacher. I think just having the patience, the dedication, and the passion to do it is more than enough to bring you up to where you want to get to. And that got me here, and I'm sure it can get millions of other people back to
Thank you
where
for
they want
sharing
to.
all that. You're very accomplished. Well, yeah. Yes,
Thank you
so
for the
much
opportunity.
playing for us. Yeah.
Very grateful.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I couldn't play.